Yeah, so it's the experience really from things, it's the strategies and things we've been doing with students for years and years. And when I first started, a lot of the strategies were paper-based and notepad-based, and building your own little books of resources and things that work for you, and making it now more accessible. And it's also built into that is other principles of the things that we often do with students, of little and often, and breaking things down into little tiny tasks and things like that. So it's quite simple. It's little things that can hopefully make a big difference for students that we've found works, really has been working for students.
I think in fairness, I think the best ideas often sound simple, but yet are very, sort of rarely are behind the scenes in my experience. It's always difficult to deliver these things, no matter how sort of simple the idea might sound or the concept might sound. But no, I think it's fantastic. I mean, in terms of the solution itself, what was your goal for it? Where did you hope it would sort of work to sort of benefit students?
I guess it was to make something, well, develop it in a way that would make it a real practical tool that would help them overcome the barriers. So like I said, often it's easier to explain with examples, but it's the little things. So it's the things like, if you're, like I said, a lot of it resonates for me as a student as well, but if you're a student and everybody else around you is carrying on and able to do whatever they were shown a few weeks ago, but you didn't quite get all the steps or get everything, well, you can save all those things in there, and then you can just refer to it. So it gives you that bit of confidence, and you're not feeling isolated because everybody else, like I said, can carry on and do whatever it is they're doing. You're all meant to be doing, but you've got something to refer back to if you can't rely on your memory to remember everything, or the right order to do it in, or all the steps that you needed to do. So it's
I think fostering that independence and sort of capability is, yeah, a huge goal, to put it mildly. You mentioned students. Do you think it's got sort of wider applications? Is it a workplace solution? Is it, good for other sort of sectors or people?
Yes, yeah. It's great for yeah, apprentices and in the workplace. One of the things, again, the goal for it, or what we were thinking about, was something that could apply to those different situations. So for students, a lot of the stuff isn't classroom based anymore. They're out on placement, they're out in the field doing experiments, they're in the lab, they're in the tech labs as well, and the IT labs. They're doing little forensic scenes and things like that. So it's something they can take with them wherever they are. It's a piece of AT they can use in all the different situations. It's all their strategies and the things that they often rely on in the classroom that they can take out. So that can be applied to workplaces where you've got lots of new things that you're learning. Apprentices, again, lots of new things they're learning, lots of changing environments. They quite often go from one department to another department, um, and have new things to remember for each. So it can be used in all those situations. And it's as well, it's about confidence,
Mm.
because quite often it's that thing of, it might take a little bit longer to be able to embed it and be able to remember something, so, and also it's a confidence. Quite often people that, I support or we work with have had a lot of experience and maybe not that confident. So just having just a quick check and think,
Yeah.
actually, yes, I'm doing this right. Yes, that's how I set out this. Yes, that's the right order I need to do this in. So it's yeah, lots of different places. You can use it. It can be applied in lots of situations.
I think the sort of the sort of traditional stereotypical sort of classroom environment has disappeared along with this sort of the stereotypical workplace really. I think we do find ourselves working, studying in more places than ever before, and I think all of our adjustments that we put in place, whether that's you're on a bus and you have a moment of inspiration, or you've lost something and you need to sort of remember how to do something, or something doesn't go according to plan, or this isn't just confined to that stereotypical sort of lecture environment. The world has changed.
No, that's right. That's definitely right. And this as well, like you said, different situations, you're thinking quite often students, they might be a little bit more, like I said, confident and anxious about what's coming up. It's like, okay, like I said, traveling in on the bus, I've got to do this today. I know I need to run through, I'll be using these formulas or whatever, and they're there. They can just refresh their memory and then feel a little bit happier going into that classroom or going into the situation.
Yeah, no, I think adding that sort of that comfort and that positivity, because I think it's very easy to become sort of anxious during journeys, for example. Just talking about the bus thing at the moment, it's you can start thinking about your day ahead and how sort of intimidating that can be, and am I going to do this? Have I remembered that? And being able to sort of use a solution like StudyKey at that moment, for example, as a portable solution, I think it's fantastic. We're obviously going to show you guys StudyKey in just a second. This is where Rosie's going to step in, but yeah. Just in terms of the future, I mean, have you got a sort of development roadmap or sort of future plans for StudyKey?
Yes, yeah, we have, and feedback. So we're really keen to develop it in response to what our users are saying. We've got some ideas for some future developments in there. So yes, it'll be something that will be constantly evolving and developing. Already, we've had people saying, oh, it'd be brilliant if you could just do this, or brilliant as well if it just this. So we've made changes along the way already. Like I said, it's been a busy year.
Yeah.
We've just brought it to market. And just in this bringing it to market as well, there were some little tweaks made to it to benefit the
Oh
user.
yeah, no, that's what I kind of love about AT. Whenever you sort of release it into the wild, the applications that people come up with, or the sort of oh, could it do this, or oh, is exciting. And I think building all that into the development roadmap is an incredibly satisfying process. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's really nice as well to hear the stories, of things we hadn't even imagined, drama students and dance students, using it to learn steps and things like that. It's like, oh, but I
Yeah.
hadn't even thought of that situation. But yes, when you've got things that you need to learn or remind yourself about, yeah, that way
Love it.
too.
Good, good, good. One last question, then we'll just go over to Rosie. We do have a question in the Q&A, but if you don't mind, Jeremy, we're just going to save that one for during the presentation and sort of see if we can sort of pick that up as part of that. Just before we sort of go on, Michelle, when you're developing these things, when you're sort of having the concept, there's often sort of, some bits that, particularly sort of become a little sort of passion part of it almost, and sort of a bit that you think, oh yeah, no, I'm really pleased about that bit. What's your favorite bit of StudyKey?
Favorite piece has to be the toolkit, just because it is so simple and it's the little things that can make, like I said, a big difference. So literally you can just save all the things that you need to remember as you're being shown. You can be, well, Rosie will show you how it works. But like I said, it can make such a difference to just have it there. So yeah, like I said, it is a simple thing. I always think of a nursing student I had that was out on placement, really good at taking blood, really good at doing blood in in a normal situation, different placement, different ward, lots going on, a bit overwhelmed. Confidence is always a bit of an issue quite often. Hadn't set up, went to take the blood, took the blood, had a tray, and then suddenly realised didn't have a cotton wool ball in the tray, and couldn't take the needle out the arm because they were holding on to it, had to call a buzzer, already feeling, overwhelmed because it was busy anyway, and, they felt they could have done this. So it's, with StudyKey, it would just be a quick snap. The strategy we were using at the time was, well, draw out, what you have in your tray. StudyKey makes it, that's what I mean about more accessible, because as you're being shown things, you can just take a photo directly into your StudyKey toolkit, and then use that just to refer to. So yeah, just a cotton wool ball makes all the difference. It's that little thing of just being able to, all the things you need to remember, takes the pressure and the stress out of having to remember those, and you've got them there to refer back to as many times as you need in whichever situations. So I love the toolkit because it's simple. It's like, can't remember, solution. There it is.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
fantastic, awesome. I think what we'll do, we'll actually sort of hand over to Rosie at this stage, if that's okay. Rosie, we're just going to turn our cameras and microphones off so we're not distracting anybody. But Michelle, if there's any questions that come up in either the chat or the Q&A, feel free to respond to them, and we'll pick them up as we go along. So Rosie, we'll leave it in your capable hands for a second.
Fabulous. I'll start sharing a slide. Hopefully everybody will be able to see that. And I'll just dive straight into StudyKey, kind of show you around the key features. And if anybody has any questions, like Jeremy does, there's a Q&A section if you wanted to be slightly more anonymous, I guess. sorry for calling him out, Jeremy. Removes that aspect of it. If you want to ask a question to us kind of privately, there's a Q&A thing. If not, chuck it in the chat. I'll see both of them, and I'll always circle back around at the end just in case I have missed anything, but they're up on my screen. Okay, so study key. If I want you to walk away with 3 things in your head after this session, I want you to remember that we've got the toolkit, we've got a tasks section, and we've got insights. And the insights and tasks, they work together really well to give an overview, something that you can refer back to, visually see your progress in your tasks over time. Tasks, you might not have seen something like this. It's not structured chronologically. It's something so that you can set up daily nudges. So students can get notification, they can be reminded to do something, whether that's something to progress their course, something for their own well-being, it could be even medication or a mental health check-in. And that toolkit, as Michelle's already referred to, that's a place for quick note making, something that you can refer back to, remember things time and time again. So Study Key, it is a phone app. It runs on iPhones, it runs on Android. It's been DSA approved for about 12 months now, and it's been designed from the ground up for students. As Michelle referred to, it's not just for use in the classroom, it's not just an academic tool, it's great strengths are on placements out in the field, if you have students with gap years or kind of sandwich years, other course-related settings outside of just plain old academia. I think it's important to mention as well, if you have people on the iOS, iPad kind of infrastructure that you're recommending for, this can also be installed as an app on an iPad, which makes sense as to something that I refer to in a little bit, and the idea of synchronizing between devices. Study Key has been created specifically to consider students who are struggling to remember key concepts, the idea of not overwhelming your working memory. You want to be able to have this as a kind of a backup, being able to add your memos, refer back to them, clears that working memory so that you have the space to process other things as you're on placement. You've got so many things you're juggling. Students who are feeling overwhelmed by their workload, this gives them a helping hand because they can be nudged on the things that they want to be prioritising in a day. They can check their progress over time, and they've got that stock, that store of solutions that work for them. And then for students who find it difficult to stay focused, that tasks feature is supercharged because depending on how the student is checking in and responding to those tasks, different actions can happen. Different people in their key contacts can be reached out to. It might give them next steps. It could be a prompt that's an image or a video, something that they've already set up to support them, and then it's there for them, supports them in the moment when they check in. So those 3 aspects are kind of the transformative elements of Study Key. And there's barriers to be overcome. It helps students who might be struggling with memory, with their organisation, with task management. And that's not just ticking off tasks off to-do list. It's that juggling of balls in the air. It's the spinning of plates. It's that kind of multi-directional focus that you need at university to make sure all of your aspects are being well attended. It's your focus on your tasks so that you're not dropping some balls whilst hyper-focusing on others. And for students who do get overwhelmed, this helps break it down. As Michelle said, that little and often breaks it down into smaller tasks. So those 3 key features, I'll give brief summaries now, and then we'll dive in a little deeper onto each of them. The toolkit, it's there for you to make a note of the things you struggle to remember. Really easy access to either typed notes, photos, videos, all sorted in a way that's personalised to you because you can create your own categories. That's great because if you're searching for just a collection of your strategies, you'll be able to do that on a drop down, or you could search in the search bar. But it's a place for the things that you might have just slipped your mind. It means that you can refer back to them, and it means that you're not constantly spinning them around your head and it's taking up your working memory, meaning that you're going to have less ability to attend to the other things in your environment. Tasks, you input your focuses. You can set goals, or I kind of say it is looking at what the success criteria for each of your tasks would be. And then depending on how you would check in, you can add support strategies. It's going to notify you at a time of the day that you've set to check in, and then depending on that check-in, reaches out with automatic support, might reach out to your contacts if that's how you've set it up. But it means that you're there supported with next steps, depending on how you're doing with that task. Then Insights is a really beautiful way to wrap up the tasks feature. Instead of just prompting daily and not being able to reflect on your progress, this is great for people who struggle to remember and reflect on their past performance. I was absolutely one of those students myself. The fact that I am reporting how I'm doing to the app on a daily basis means that there's a series of data that then is displayed visually for me. Whether I wanted to check that I've done something, if I wanted to reflect on a past week or something before that as a conversation piece with a tutor or a mentor, I'd be able to develop new strategies or improve my existing ones, because I could see if it's working for me on a task level or for my study challenges that I identify when I'm setting it up. Now, when it comes to setting up Study Key, it's a very simple process. It steps you through, holds your hand, and it goes through a setup process in which you'll tell it what study challenges are difficult for you. That could be motivation, it could be confidence, it could be time management. You can add your own. Then you can add key contacts to Study Key. That could just be like adding a contact to a contact book, something that Study Key can reach out to. Or that could be inviting somebody to be able to see your insights data, to be able to support you remotely, or to check in with you if you needed that extra support. So Study Key helps you to reach out to your support network. You can preload your study tips in the toolkit and any strategies that are already you go into university and they work for you. One of the things that I find quite apparent, especially for me, the condition that I was always struggling with was my autism. And I found that there were so many hidden ways that my family was supporting me that when I went to university, I suddenly lost, and I hadn't identified that at the time. But I did have some things that could have helped me if only I'd have remembered them in the time. So to load up the toolkit with any strategies I had, say, from A-level or before, from other courses, other things that have just resonated with me, I can add them to my toolkit for reference. And I can also develop new ones with the one-to-one skills, the study support at the university as well. Then I can use that insights along with any of my support network so that I could reflect and understand my study barriers and maybe improve those strategies a little further. To set up a profile on Study Key, it is step by step, but you can always, just off the main menu, head to your profile section and change any of the information that you've input. This gives a great overview of the information that is captured by Study Key. So you can invite contacts to be able to access your insights, or you could just add contacts for that synchronized access wherever you're logged into Study Key, whether that's your iPhone, an Android phone, or an iPad that you might be using. Emergency contacts have their own section on the homepage. I think that's an important kind of ring-fenced area. If you are struggling and you normally reach out to a support person, this keeps all those contacts under one button, easy access. Then you can identify support challenges. There are a load of like reasoned suggestions, or you could add your own. I like to consider the challenges as like an umbrella that the tasks would fall under. And insights can be shown on a task level or a challenge level. Tasks, you can set up new tasks, or you could change your focus areas. Michelle had a great conversation with me, and she talked about the ebb and flow of a students' needs over a year at university. You might start the year with poor organisation. You might develop some organisation skills that mean that the things that you want to focus on would change. You might shift your focus to research, or you might shift your focus to writing up a dissertation project. So you can always change what daily notifications you're going to be getting. Then the toolkit is where you can add and organise items, videos, messages, photos. There's things that are going to support you, the things you can refer back to. And that's the first thing that we'll focus on. So you can easily use your toolkit to find an existing solution. You can search for it using the search bar, or with the drop-down list, just with the categories. Or you can click the plus button at the top to add one. So that means that from launching the app, 2 clicks and you're already adding a brand new solution. So this could be something that you're recording, say a lecturer is saying, or you're being demonstrated something practical. You can record it straight on the app, or you could add it from a photo or recording that you already have. I can create a new category. For example, I would group all of my like dissertation stuff with one experiment. I'd group all those under one category. Or I could use one of the pre-populated ones, like I was making a note about lectures. I'd add my heading that I'd be able to search for. And then in terms of solutions, I could type a little note to myself telling me, say, when and where my physics lectures were. But if I'm stressed or if I'm running late, and that isn't going to be something that my brain can use to help me navigate, I could also like add a photo, and that could be something that I'm taking straight off my camera whilst it's happening to capture it before I have a chance to forget it. Or it could be something that I attach from my in-device storage. So a photo of the exact lecture hall, that would give me my a second prompt if I was struggling. So then I could search for the thing that I've added to my toolkit by either typing it or looking at the drop down. And then when I expand it, I'll see my written note, and I can also click on that photo just for that extra jogging of my memory. In summary, the toolkit bit is great for students who struggle to recall things, who, especially when stressed or anxious, feeling overwhelmed, it might slip their mind. They might not be able to recall it from their long-term memory. And it would be a great place to build up, say, a bank of commonly misspelt words or key vocab for a course. From the example photo, that's, say, on a nursing placement, what do these key terms mean in the context of, say, doing a history with a patient? So that's a way that they can build up, students can build up a personalised reference bank that helps them when they need it. The next thing that I find really powerful is tasks. It's to enable students to focus on tasks, set their goals, add strategies, and it keeps them on track because it's going to send a notification to them on a daily basis. So if we were to set up a task, say to focus on doing work on our presentation, I'd be able to tick that. I'd choose what study challenges are linked to that task. That gives me some more data when I'm checking in every day. So I could deselect organisations, say. And then I'm setting up my rating scale for my check-ins. I can go from my worst, my struggling, what would that look like? And for me, I'd be reflecting that my lowest end of my scale would be I'm actively avoiding it and I'm feeling bad. I'm not just avoiding it because I'm having a good time. I'm feeling bad about it and it's weighing on my mind. That's my low point. And then I could go up and I can set up to 5. What would not so good look like? What would okay look like? All the way up to excellent. For excellent, I'm going to put something really generic. Everything is going great. Couldn't be better. That's my excellent. Obviously, I've only just set up 2 to show you there, but you can set up a range of options. You can schedule a daily notification at different times per task. I think this is helpful because some students perform better depending on the ebb and flow of the day, their energy levels. I'd want to be notified personally for my presentation when I've got the energy to be putting some more time into it. So I've said, say, 11:30, after I've got breakfast out the way. Then you can choose what action happens if a student checks in on, say, they're struggling or say they're excellent. You can then choose whether an image is shown, a video, so that could be recording of next steps, it could be a strategy you've worked through with a study skills support, or it could just be a quick message. You could use it to motivate a student to complete a task. You could use it to support some next steps. I have got a question through in the Q&A asking if the data backs up somewhere other than the device. And can you have it on more than one device? And I'll show you how, if you invite people to view your insights, there's actually a web dashboard for that, so you can view it external to the device as well. Again, just like with the toolkit, media can be attached from things you've already got saved on your phone or your tablet, or you could take it straight off the device. So you could teach a student strategy to be launching Study Key and to be recording things directly into Study Key, so they're never going to lose it. And then here's where you'd be able to select. You could choose to alert a key contact. And that could be somebody that doesn't have access to your insights data. It could be somebody who does have access to your insights data, but they could be contacted so that they could reach out and be part of a solution for you. So the tasks, great for keeping students focused, for organising various tasks that they need for all aspects of their course. If they're bad with time management or completing tasks on time, you can set the targets on Study Key and you can set up that personalised support that triggers automatically when you check in. Here's what those notifications in the app look like. So even if you've dismissed your notification from your notification center on your phone, it's always available on the app, and as standard you'll see the number of notifications you've got as a little badge on the thumbnail on the icon. So I'd be able to click on notifications and see that, oh, I need to mark my response for my presentation. And here you'd see those two emojis that we've set up, what the reasoning behind each of them is. If you've forgotten what good looks like, what bad looks like, you could, if a student needed some support, say if they avoided it, it could give you some next steps, could be encouraging you. You could type up some ideas that would help you get unstuck in that situation. It could just be a motivational message. Could be a cute dog photo. So if they're checking in, they could be doing great. They might want to just be rewarded, motivated for checking in. Or you could set it up to to motivate next steps, to keep them on track, maybe even just a suggestion to reach out to somebody. It doesn't have to be an everyday dog photo, could be a tiny little dog dressed in a Mrs. Santa Claus outfit. Next, let's look at that insights data. We've had a question about it, and so it's a great time to wrap up with it. Insights will help the student look at their progress over time, reflect on it, build on the things they've already developed. Will it work for them? Will it not work for them? Does it need to be addressed? Great for students who need help recalling, recognising or reflecting on their progress or achievements, even those that can struggle with communicating how they've done, or they've just forgotten. They have no ability, like me, to recognise their achievements over time. And this is great because everything's in one place. They can see it quite visually. And if you invite people to be part of your Study Key, there is a web dashboard. So your assigned support people have access to the insights and reports. They can track the progress and identify additional support needs. So if you were looking at it, say on a laptop, whichever browser you're using, you as the support worker would be logged in. You could see a list of all the different students you support with Study Key all in one place. You don't need to be logging in on different logins. And then you can check how you've done, how a student's done. So you can change the user, you can change the metrics you're looking at, whether you're looking at a week, a month, all the data that they have. And you can either look per task and see how they've checked in, or if they've not checked in at all, or you could look at it on a challenge level. So you could see the breakdown of how they're doing for each of their study challenges. So it kind of motivates different conversations, and you can pull out different things from the data that you could then build up some more study skills. So there's an overall report, and then there's insights on that task level as well. So in summary, Study Key is a great it's a great tool so that students can help develop personalized strategies, remember and recall those bits of information that might have just fallen out of their head, reflect on their learning journeys over time, stay more focused because they're juggling all the different aspects of their course, and so that it can keep on track. And ultimately, wrapping up all the different elements of their course so that they can achieve what they deserve to achieve. I have had a question in the chat with any plans to make it available in the US. I believe already on the Android App Store, the United States can download, but it's really quick for the developers to turn on new countries. We've done that recently with Australia and Ireland as licenses. And if you did need to reach out with any further questions about Study Key, demonstration licenses are available. We can do one-to-one meetings, ping me an email and we can get that sorted. I'm going to pass over to Anthony now.
Thank you very much, Rosie. Fantastic demo as always, really appreciated. Monique in the chat, also, this sounds great. It'd be fantastic for people suffering from dementia. Most definitely. Yep, availability in the US. Yeah, no, all spot on, and thank you for the applause in the chat as well. I'm assuming that's for Rosie. Obviously, she's done a fantastic job there, so we'll all credit to Rosie.
It's for Study Key. It's a fabulous product.
That was the right answer. Do you know what? There's one thing that struck me as we were going through that, and completely unscripted. But you know, for me, when I'm looking at these things, there was 2 points that really sort of resonated with me. One is the reflection aspect. I think it's very easy sort of to get sort of stuck in a rut with these things and think, oh, it's all wrong, it's not working, you know, I don't know what to do. And you forget the good days you've had. And I think, you know, that sort of, you know, being able to reflect is incredibly useful. I know nursing students use that an awful lot. And I think it's crucial. And I know I mentioned that to Michelle a few times during the development stage. I think the other bit is that unstuck point where, you know, you sort of you feel like you're hitting a brick wall, and you don't know where to start. And I think that sort of, you know, just do 5 minutes, just come up with one idea, just to sort of get that process moving again, is fantastically useful. So yeah, some great little key points in there from Rosie.
Well,
Michelle, is there anything you'd add to any of that, or
You did a great job, Rosie. Thank you. No, that's great. Yes, like you said, it is I guess a lot of the stuff we do with the study skills that, you know, often we meet students once a week is quite normal to meet students. And we do that little thing of okay, what's the key things you're going to focus on this week? Keep it really simple, just 1 or 2 things that you're focusing on and keeping them going. And the idea of Study Key is it keeps that momentum going, because it's the thing, if you get stuck, oh, I got stuck and couldn't do it. It's that little nudge in the moment of when you're feeling stuck of, oh, actually, try this works. And because, like you said, we've talked about this, Rosie, about it being ebbs and flows, and quite often you're doing your assignment writing at the end of semester 1, and it doesn't come again until the end of semester 2, and you can just easily, once you've set up the strategies on the tasks on the toolkit, you can just disenable them. And then when you're next on that phase of writing an assignment and you're aiming to do like so many 100 words, 100 words a day or 50 words a day, and it's the things that worked last time, because quite often we'd say to the student, well, what did you do last time it worked? And I go, and I'm looking back and go, well, we used to do this try, I forgot all about that. It's all already in there. So next time, and it's building those steady habits and cementing those things that worked. So by the end of it, hopefully by the end of the first year, you'd have a whole load of different strategies that work for different things. And then in the second year, you just reactivate those ones, I'm back into research mode. And you can also link them, make little nudges to, oh, remember use, pro study, something like that. That's good for doing your research and setting up your bits and things like that. So little nudges towards that. So it all interacts with things at work.
Yeah, I think that's crucial. I think there's another sort of key point you hit on there as well is, much as we talked about the stereotypical working or studying environment has shifted. I think, we all have to be sort of, conscious of the fact that the student journey throughout the year and throughout the course is not consistent. You do have those periods when you're doing dissertations, when you're studying and when you're researching and, sitting exams and doing all those things. It's not just a, front end of your course, here's everything you need, and then you've got all the tools. You're needs change, and I think a dynamic tool that does that is fantastic. Couple more bits in the chat that I'm just going to pick on before we. Kim, oh, she's got a date with free pizza. Well, fair enough. I'd leave for free pizza. Sorry. Very interesting from Michelle. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Yeah, Jane Downey agreeing that it would be yeah, awesome for memory issues. And from Emma Wilson, really encourages metacognition skills too. Help students analyze the learning and organization skills that work for them for different tasks and in different situations. Awesome. Yeah, John Higgins, great, thanks. Appreciate that. Thank you very much indeed. And yeah, it would be, yeah, definitely sort of useful in the workplace as well. So yeah, I mean, we can see a huge amount of applications. It's very delighted to get it out there into the big wide world. So no, thank you all very, very much.